Hi, loves. Welcome back to Not Overthinking It podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into Cringe Mountain, what it is, and how to overcome it. But first, our quote of the day, and that is, "It is never too late to be what you could have been." Let's go into Cringe Mountain. Have you ever felt so much embarrassment towards something that you did, something that you said, a phase that you were in, even if it was like 2 seconds ago, you made a video, you posted it, and you're like, I am cringed out by myself. That, my friend, is called cringe. According to TikTok and Urban Dictionary, cringe is awkwardness and secondhand embarrassment that comes from trying too hard or just flop moments. Moments in which you maybe felt like wasn't a good representation of yourself. Maybe you thought it would perform better or come across better than it actually did. Maybe it sounded different in your head and you said something completely different. But the point is, we've all been there. We've all had cringe moments, and it's more about what you do with that cringe moment that matters. So today we're going to be diving into Cringe Mountain, overcoming it, and actually embracing it. I am here to say this is a little bit of a hot take, so let me sip my tea for this. Being cringe is actually a sign of growth and about your ability to embrace every version of you. It's actually very human to have cringe moments. And it is, like I said, a matter of what you do with that moment that matters. I think, especially among our generation, among Gen Z, it's easier to feel cringed out by yourself because you are so exposed to how you should behave and the things that people define as cringe. Like, we have more access to what people think about us and what people define as just being awkward or giving secondhand embarrassment. Looking at celebrities who are under the microscope all the time, the Kardashians have been long lasting, and we have seen many of their phases to which we look back and they think that was cringe. However, props to them for exploring what it is they wanted to do. I think that's what it comes down to. I'm going to use Chloe, for example, because I think she gets a lot of judgment because she does the filters on Instagram. She's explored businesses that were not successful, even though she is a big celebrity name. Just because your name is attached to something doesn't mean it's going to automatically succeed. She has let herself try a bunch of things, and only from those flops was she able to hit the jackpot with what she's doing now, which is Good American Genes. But it took her going through the motions and giving something her all and being like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. She let herself express in those moments, okay? She let herself be seen trying. And I think that's so admirable. To allow yourself to be seen trying, to dance like nobody's watching, all the corny things, whatever. It's true though, because those are character building moments that shape your future and allow you not only to develop a stronger backbone and to be able to withstand criticism from people, but also it allows you to almost audit your life and get rid of the things that are not aligned with you. For me, embracing the cringe is about letting yourself express the feelings, the desires that you have in that moment without judgment. Obviously, self-control is something that is important, and we need discipline, and we need to know, hey, that is very attention seeky. We don't want to do that. You do need those cues, but in order to develop those cues, you kind of need to make mistakes and you need to let yourself just flop. Okay. So the way I view cringe moments is, okay, cringe to me is my body telling me that's not very reflective of who I am now or what I want to be. And so I know not to do that. But how would I ever know not to do it if I don't do it? Like, to an extent, right? There's some things that maybe I just won't try because I know that that's not authentic to me. But what about the things that we think about? Like, should I pursue this? Should I wear that outfit? Oh, I kind of want to try that print. Maybe I'll look back on this shirt and be like, why did I wear cheetah? The point is that you can use feelings of cringe as feedback and guidance towards where you actually should be. I think playing it too safe and avoiding things that you fear might be embarrassing, that's not a place that you want to be. Try to make things as authentic to you as possible. And with the trial and error is going to come the error and receiving that feedback from your body. Like, oh my gosh, that video that I posted, literally 2 seconds later, I'm like, why did I post that? That was not truly a good representation of me. Delete it and move on. And remember, in the future, if you ever get the desire, like, I need to do a skit video, for example. Oh no, I remember I did that last month and it made me feel so cringed out. And I don't think that's a good reflection of me. Just because that person can do it doesn't mean that I should. When I look back, at least for on my middle school, high school self, I get cringed out because I know that that's not the person that I was trying to be. And so I look at that, I'm like, okay, we're using that as a roadmap to see where I don't want to revert back to. Like it helps you look at your actions and think, first of all, what was cringe about it? Why do I feel so negative about it? And how can I avoid that and make a change to find what's truly in alignment to me? I also want to go into another cringe example is Addison Rae. I think she has had cringe moments. I don't want to say her TikTok era. I think portions of her videos, right? Like maybe 20% of them we might say were cringe, and then 80% of them were cool or creative, whatever. But she needed to express herself. She needed to get those ideas off her chest and see how they not only received, but how they feel. I think we've all seen, or a lot of us have seen the one where she was interacting with a fan and she was like, wait, hold on, I need to do my dance really quick. And she did the TikTok and everyone's like, cringe. Like, why do we give TikTokers so much power and whatnot? But that was an era that she needed to have so that she could be a better pop star. Does that make sense? Like she needed to go through her flop era in that sense so that she could thrive as the pop star that she is turning into now. But had she not seen what doesn't work well for her, maybe she would still be holding back. Maybe she would still be in a sort of tango with what she wants to be and where she is. But no, she just took action step by step, figured out what works for her, what doesn't, what feels good, what doesn't, and look at where she is now. And getting over the cringe is something that a lot of you guys need to do, myself included. At the end of the day, cringe, feeling embarrassed about yourself is more of a fear of judgment. Like I said, I also do know that it can be a guide for you. It can guide you towards what feels true to you because what feels true to you is not going to give you cringe. And we can use that as our guide in that the next time, say, we post something or the next time you say something, you can think, okay, did that feel good? Yes. So I want to keep doing that. And that's getting me closer to my most confident version of me. So with that, asking yourself, like I said, what energy do I feel when I do something? And how can I do more things that align with me and minimize the things that don't align with me? Thinking about the purpose behind your action. So if you're a content creator, I think my biggest tip for content creation and not feeling cringe is ensuring that the message behind it is for a higher purpose. So if you're making a vlog or you're making a talking video, whatever, a dance video, what is the purpose of it? Get clear on that before you hit post. Reflect before you take action. Say you're making a talking video. Are you serving a higher purpose, which is when you make videos, you want them to be selfless almost, whether it's to provide entertainment, whether it's to provide help or guidance, tips, advice, motivation, whatever it is. What is the central theme of that message? What is the purpose of it? And are you fulfilling it? For my audit checkpoints, I think exactly like that. What is the energy I got from making this? What is my purpose for saying it? Who is going to receive it? And how is it going to be received on a higher level? Like, is it going to be helpful for somebody? And if the answer is yes, and I post it, and then say 5 minutes later, I kind of feel a bit of a regret, I don't take that as a real measurement of if it's cringe or not, because in that case, if I checked off all those boxes, it rang true to me, it served a higher purpose, I felt good making it, and then I post it, then I am only feeling a little bit iffy about it because I'm thinking about, in that case, how people will view me. And then that's just a different issue in itself. And that's not really reflective of whether I was being authentic. In that case, I think I was being authentic, but then I need to work through the parts of me that care about what people might think. But on the other hand, I make something, I feel cringed out after, we'll say. I don't think it serves a higher purpose. I feel like it wasn't a good reflection of me. In that case, I would say it's not so much about how I'm being perceived. It's more about how I feel about it, and I don't want to post it. We can do this not even just with content, but about things that you say to people if you have a little bit of social anxiety, you're in a group setting, and later you think, wow, why did that thing that I say, why did I feel so cringe about it? Dissect that comment. Think about the comment. Do you believe that comment is true? Do you feel like it was a genuine reflection of you? If yes, then you're only feeling embarrassed about it because you are trying to people please and you're trying to get a good response from people. And that is the fear of what people think of you. That's a separate issue. However, if you dissect that comment and you're like, oof, like I don't believe that. I just said it because I felt like I needed to say it in the moment, but I actually don't believe it, then we're using that as throw that in the list of things that you don't want to say anymore, things that you know are not a reflection of you. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now let's talk about tools for self-discovery and genuine inspiration, finding what rings true to you. I made a video before this called Making Your Dream Life a Reality, Pinterest Board Edition. So bringing your Pinterest board to life. And in that video, it's deeper than just bringing to fruition aesthetic pictures and having a picture perfect life, but rather creating and curating a life that is so authentic to you, it feels like your highest self. Check out that video, highly recommend. I think that for overcoming the cringe and working through that, looking at documentaries and noticing that literally every documentary starts with somebody's rock bottom, starts with somebody's errors, their trials, their tribulations, okay? Watch documentaries. Specifically, I loved the Martha Stewart documentary. I think it shows how human we are. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes and we all go through different phases in our lives that we look back and maybe we aren't the happiest about, but it shapes us to where we need to be. Honestly, like looking up people's life stories, even on podcasts, I love listening to guest speaker podcasts because they always talk about like how they started, where they started, and where they went wrong. And I think that's very reassuring that, again, we don't know what we're doing and we're just trying to figure it out. That's what life's all about. And that's what embracing the cringe is all about, is accepting that I'm going to make mistakes, but it's about what I do with those mistakes, how I respond to them, that really matters, and not about trying to be perfect all the time because that's impossible. For podcasts, I really like listening to Mel Robbins' podcast is amazing. The Skinny Confidential, sometimes I will say it's hit or miss, but I like when they interview founders of brands and entrepreneurs because you can really see their journey. Layla Hormozi. Also, I want to shout out Life with Mariana podcast. She interviews some great people and they dissect their journey and even admit that they're still making mistakes to this day. Another tool that I love is practicing self-expression in private. So if you really need to get something off your chest, then I really recommend opening photo booth, opening Snapchat, somewhere that it's not going to go anywhere, and just brain dumping. Like I've literally cried to myself on camera because I needed that like therapy session almost, and I did nothing with it. And I felt really relieved after. So if you don't want to do it in front of somebody, then self-express, whether it's on video, a journal, let yourself just free the thoughts in your head and use that as a mean to expressing. We all need to express. And so sometimes we need to express in public, sometimes we need to express in private, but just allow yourself, give yourself the grace to be able to do it in multiple forms, okay? Another tip, this is something that I practice, which is avoid making decisions out of desperation. That's where I think a lot of cringe comes from, in that you look back and you're like, wow, that was so attention seeking of me. And that's because you aren't giving yourself the validation that you need. So where can you give yourself validation in private? And where can you have little checkpoints with yourself where like, I'm so proud of myself for XYZ, or I know that I'm enough. I know that I give myself the validation that I need and I don't need to seek it externally. And so maybe you feel really anxious in your relationship, or when you get into relationships with people, you start to get overly attached to them and you cling on to them, and then they kind of like retract. That's when your feeling of cringe comes in. In that sense, you need to develop self-love and grow your self-worth, babe, because a guy is not going to be able to do it for you. Like even in the short term, maybe he will. It's putting a band-aid on it. What is the root cause of your actions? And if you feel so desperate about it, how can you give yourself the approval that you are seeking, because nobody is going to give you what you want but yourself. Like I said, people can put band-aids on it, but once that's taken away, what do you have? Nobody can take away your self-worth that you've grown. So know that that's your biggest investment that you need to make, growing your own self-worth and giving yourself the validation, the praise that you're looking for. It is super simple. It is something that you need to make your priority, whether it's, like I said, in the form of journaling what you're proud of yourself for, or just telling yourself affirmations throughout the day, like, I am worthy. I do not do anything out of desperation. Make sure that they're in the I statement and that they are current state. I am worthy just as I am. Even if you don't believe it right now, keep saying it until you do, because over time, your brain is going to accept that as the truth, and that is going to become your religious thoughts. My last note is the importance of embracing your authenticity. And like I said, that is the whole goal of our human experience. It's to find what truly brings us joy, what's truly our calling, and embracing the humanness of everyday actions, right? Like, we are bound to make mistakes, and that's normal. Embarrassment is also honestly just a mindset. You can choose to be embarrassed about something and hone in on it and obsess about it, or you could just move on and learn from it. Okay. Life is an experiment. And so even if something, you might find that if something feels super authentic in the moment, you look back, you cringe, that's great. That means that you're evolving as a human and getting closer and closer to your best self. The goal is not to avoid the cringe, it's to honor your phase and let yourself express, whether it's in the form of internal expression, external expression, whatever it is, let yourself have fun. And remember, it's not that deep. In conclusion, the cringe moments are universal, so own them as part of your journey. Let go of perfection and focus on your intentions instead. Lead with intention and not outcome, okay? Your power lies in owning who you are and not avoiding who you've been, okay? Your past does not define you, it guides you. Your actions don't define you, they guide you. You can become whoever it is that you want to be. You are not tied to somebody's version of you. You are not tied to a story that you're telling yourself, what you did in the past that was cringe. That is not you. You are who you say you are. You are what your actions show you to be. You are what your habits show you to be, but you do not have to be tied to what you did 5 years ago and are still holding on to, or what you did 5 minutes ago. You have the right to reinvent yourself at any point. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. That's the tea. No one can tell you who you are. No guy can tell you that you're cringe. No guy can tell you that you aren't worthy of something, that you aren't a dream girl. And no one in society can tell you what you're supposed to be or how you're supposed to behave. Follow your gut, follow your intuition, lead with your intentions, and always remember your authenticity is your power. Be sure to follow my Instagram for more content. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely enjoy this one about creating your vision board and making your dream life. Until next week, see you!